Hello, everybody. It is White March time.
Sure.
Yes. Yes, it is. We're going to be journeying to a very cold area. I'm going to put that in my stash and clean up my inventory real quick here. I don't think Whispers in Yenwood needs to be around anymore. I think I'm going to put that pistol away. That I'm gonna throw away. Well, not throw away, put it in a stash. That I'm gonna put in the stash. That I'm gonna put in the stash. That I'm gonna give you to hold on to. That I'm gonna put in your inventory. Oh, I guess you can only have a stack of 5. Okay, then for now I'm gonna put that in the stash. I need to sell off these traps at some point. I'm not using them anymore. They don't really do enough damage to be worthwhile. Alright, so how do I start this whole deal? That's the guy with Gathbin. I think maybe I just leave and go to Stalwart, I think it is. The White March. Okay, I gotta go here. I see. I see. Okay. Let's get out of here. This might be a longer stream today. I pretty much went back to a normal schedule this weekend, and now I need to get on my regular schedule. I woke up today at like 3:30 in the morning, so I'm still wide awake.
Well done. A formidable fortress in the old style.
And
We don't build them like this anymore, you know.
no, we don't.
Not by the sea. Too vulnerable to cannons.
Craft Hall, Warden's Lodge. What is the... You know what? Wait a minute. Before we go to White March, I need a reminder of what the heck the Warden's Lodge is. Because I don't... Is there... I think there might be bounties there or something like that. I completely forgot about the Warden's Lodge. But yeah, I'm going to be maybe doing a long stream here. We'll see what happens. It'll also be to make up for the fact that either Thursday or Friday I will not be here this week. I'm not sure which day exactly, but I'll have to figure it out when I get there. You hear about the bounties. 1 glass eye and several teeth are missing from the Scolder head. Field journal contains sketches of Admus Wirt, deer cap, and other common plants. I'm gonna steal your fruit, and you can't complain because you're living in my domain.
Hello!
Hi! This grizzled old man takes a puff from his pipe and nods at you. Was wondering when you'd be dropping by. Kith around here have been hit with more than their fair share of trouble of late. I'm up to my ear in bounty offers. Figured at least one of these might interest someone with your skills. What are the most recent bounties? Now I ought to warn you, there's a reason these bounties are still on offer. These are tough bastards, every one of them. If you're not up to it now, feel free to come back when you're better prepared. In the meantime, here's a good batch to start us off. There's a standing bounty on Sly Kirul's head, of course. Then there's the forest lurker haunting the trade routes, and this ogre shaman should fetch a good price. And up last is one War Chief Ilklak. I want to know about Sly Kirul. This bounty comes all the way from New Heomar. Sly Kirul and some of his accomplices have escaped the prison there and killed 2 justiciars on the way out. Guards are itching after revenge. A man matching his description was seen near Mogren's Fork. He's well armed and he'll have his friends with him too. Tell me about the forest lurker. Let's see. Word is this big forest lurker's taken up residence in the Black Meadow just off the main road. The merchants have been calling it the Dweller, and they want it gone before it starts chewing up their caravans. I'll take on the ogre. That's the one that keeps making the rounds. Nalwend the Wise. He's some kind of ogre shaman. They say he's raided a half-dozen farms all over the Deerwood. Word is he's holed up somewhere in Elmshore, though nobody who went looking has been seen since. Tell me about the War Chief. War Chief Iklak. He's a Zarup, if the name didn't tip you off. He moves around a lot, but he's known to haunt the Valewood from time to time. Folks want him dealt with before he takes up with a dragon. I'll be going. Alright, so we just picked up some side quests. I completely forgot about this. But we're not going to take care of him right now. Worry about that later because it's White March time. It's going to be 94 degrees where I'm at, and I'm in the mood for a snowy environment. So
amazing. You could fit a whole village in here.
I don't have anything else going on here that I need to take care of, do I? Eorn, Hiravias is dealing with Barot, and Lord Sidrock is dealing with bolstering his defenses. So, okay. We should be free to do what we want. Take a trip. And we're gonna go with this party.
I'm ready.
Arya.
Ah,
Yep, rest of you too. I was just looking at some Pelagina there for a second. Alright. Accept. White March. Take you 24 hours to complete your journey from Caed Nua to Stalwart Village. Accept. Your party is considered high level for the content in the White March. If you would like, the critical path can be increased in difficulty to give you more of a challenge. The rewards you receive will be the same regardless of the option you choose. Your choice cannot be changed once it has been selected. So wait, what does what here? Does high level, wait. If you would like, the critical path can be increased in difficulty. I'm going to do standard just because I don't want to be forever with this.
You set out for Stalwart. The White March rises up in the distance, stretching to the north and south as far as the eye can see. It beckons to you with peaks like broken fingers. The road thins to a tattered ribbon, and the shadow of the mountains falls across your path. You've barely begun your climb when the darkening sky pummels you with hailstones and turns the ground beneath you to ice. You press on. The air grows thin, and the treacherous mountain passes funnel screeching winds past your ears. A blizzard forces you to make camp for 3 days, huddling for safety while snow piles around your refuge. At last the weather clears, and you approach Stalwart under a crisp blue sky. There's a noise, high and sharp, coming from the village that sounds at first like another frozen gale. But when you top the rise and reach the village's wooden gates, you see what lies beyond them.
All right.
It's Darzyr with a whole pack of them.
Oh boy, ogres.
we can take these bastards!
Artificer's Hall construction completed, so we now can get a mechanics bonus for what's her face. Glanfath and Soul Hunter has arrived seeking employment. She was nearly set upon by brigands on the road, but your patrols. Durgan's Battery quest updated. Alright. Hold on, everybody. If we can stop this little battle we have, I gotta take care of something here real quick. Let's hire the Glanfath and Soul Hunter. Cannot hire any more hirelings. 2 and 3 actually looks really good. Is there anybody here I have that's not that great that I can just ditch? Let's get rid of... I'm gonna get rid of the Vagabond Scald and hire the Glanfath and Soul Hunter instead. Because why not? I don't see a reason not to. And we need to construct something else. Let's go with the first thing we find on our list. Let's get the Curio Shop. Allows you to purchase parts of exotic creatures and generates a random creature part every turn in the Stronghold Treasury. Okay, let's do that. Alright, ogres. I've killed... Whoa, what happened to that poor guy? Oh, that's right. These guys have, like, cannons. I remember this. I played a little bit of this DLC before, so... Not a ton, but some of it. Is there more? You guys can hold on a second, right? I gotta lose some bodies. It's very important. I can't fight ogres effectively on an empty wallet. I'll take these plants too. Alright. Hello? Anybody up here? No? Doesn't look like it. Okay, let's come back down.
Look out! More of them by the fishery!
Oh no, not the fishery.
Yeah.
Winter wolf. Okay. Man, just dropped that ogre like he was nothing. Itamok, what are you doing? Attack. Are you stuck? No? What's wrong with you? There you go. Itamok, you got a much bigger wolf on you. A chanter. Oh, we're going for straight for him. Get the chanter. Itamok, hold on. Don't die. If possible. Alright, you're still alive. Okay, so far so good. I am definitely high level for this, it feels like. That's alright, I've earned those levels.
Huh?
Oh, found another one. Cave ogre, cave ogre. Ooh. I love it when Sagani chunks something with an arrow. Like, she hit that ogre with an arrow and it just exploded.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, there's not gonna be anything up there. Let's check down. Over this way. It's a winter wolf. Okay, they go down easy. Another one. I can see now why everybody wanted me to do this early. Okay, we got an ogre, cannoneer, and a chanter. Let's get Mr. Melee out of the way first. Let's get the chanter.
Let's go.
Die, monster. Scani, take that. Adir, take that. Says Speckleback Jerky. Plus 8 max endurance, plus 1 intellect, plus 1 perception. Okay, food. Brentwin Ban. Something for crafting. Same with the berries, okay. This reminds me of the start of Icewind Dale 2. You're going through a village that's under attack. A couple cave ogres. It's actually another game I never beat. Never got around to beating. Uh-oh, I think this is the bosses, everybody. Okay, let's get serious here. Let's mark the war leader. You guys live in snowy environments, so let's try to set you on fire. Oh, this guy can take a fireball fairly well. Alright, Durance. Let's drop a pillar of holy fire in the middle of these guys. Alright, Aloth, let's hit a necrotic lance, maybe? Get some corrode going. You're surrounded. Mog's dead, but everybody else looks like they're mostly in good shape. Rush the cannoneers. Aloth, assist. Alright, I'm guessing that was
Darthir's fallen. Back to the matron now.
Yeah, you better run to your mommy. You're the one Renegilde sent for. She'll want to speak with you. Her house is just up the way next to Gref's Rest. Messenger pants, waving smoke away from his face.
Katie's house is burning.
Oh no, not Katie's house. Hurry, they're both in there. Alright. I'll assist with this.
Help! The hut's coming down.
Well, yeah, it's on fire. Please, you have to help. There's still people trapped in there. Man puts his hands to his head, staring up at the burning house in horror. Who's in there? Because it's very important I know the answer to that question before I go charging in. It's Katie, sir. The roof caved in on her. The guard who went in to fetch her is surrounded by flames. Ain't got the muscle to pull her out, nor a means to fight those flames. Please. You gotta do something, Liquid. Step aside, I'll get him out. Please hurry. I hope everybody can go in here, and I don't have to pick somebody. The roof of this hut is almost entirely enveloped in flames, lighting the snow in stark orange hues. Several beams have been reduced to ember-dotted husks. Through the hut's threshold, you can see only billowing smoke. Fire roars as it climbs the timbers. The air feels thick and hot, and the building is a maze of flame. Withstanding the smoke and navigating the fire will be a challenge. I'm half tempted to send Aloth in because I'm wondering if Chillfog can deal with this a little bit. But then I'm like, maybe I should send a deer because he has Constitution. Maybe that might help deal with the smoke inhalation. Let's send a deer. A deer leaps over the burning threshold, plunging out of sight beneath a kind of wall of smoke. Inside the house, fire has pitted the walls and beams, and a thick haze rolls through the building. It is hard to see even a few feet ahead, save for the occasional glimpse of glowing embers. Survival 5, crouched down to avoid smoke. The deer moves onward through a haze of heat and soot. The hut groans and shifts as the blaze grows. With a mighty groan, the burning beam comes crashing down. Caught off guard, a deer is pinned beneath a heavy log. Push the beam away. Come on, deer. Even reeling from the impact, the deer is still able to heave the heavy debris away with relative ease. The deer gets back upright, a little winded from the ordeal. A sudden flashover singes the deer's arms. It doesn't stop a deer, but the pain steadily grows. Of course it doesn't stop him, he's a tank. Pressing forward, a deer comes at last to a wider room. To the left is a man, the source of the faint cries for help. He stands trapped behind a curtain of flame, arms raised to ward off the heat. It may be impossible to reach him without quenching the fires first. To the right, a woman lies unconscious beneath what appears to have once been the roof. She's small, but the rubble trapping her looks heavy. Smoke winds its way up and out into the open air, obscuring all sight of the outside. Okay. I don't think Adir has any way to ward off the fires. So let's examine the situation to the right. The woman is trapped beneath a considerable amount of rubble, including a heavy crossbeam. A purpling bruise on her temple suggests that she was struck as debris fell. Let's use a pry bar to clear the rubble. Adir sets the pry bar against a section of the crossbeam and, using every ounce of strength, strains to lift it clear. After a period of fruitless struggle, the beam finally begins to rise by slow degrees. With one last great and final effort, Adir heaves the last of the rubble clear of the woman. Though still unconscious, the woman is free of the rubble and can now be moved. Let's carry the woman out. The woman is of slight frame, and carrying her proves easier than freeing her from the rubble. Adir hoists her carefully onto his shoulder. When it says turn away to help the man, does that mean that I'm leaving him? Wait. This doesn't mean I dropped the woman, does it? Adir approaches the other victim. Excuse me. Smoke clogs Adir's lungs and he has become unbearable. Adir will collapse soon. Adir hears a shriek of pain. Adir can see but the faintest outline of the man as he collapses and writhes, engulfed by flames. Behind Adir, smoke and fire rise in front of the exit. Retreat to the exit. Beset by smoke-clogged air, blistering heat, and burning debris, Adir is rapidly losing strength. With every passing moment, survival becomes more unlikely. Keeping a firm hold upon the unconscious woman, Adir turns for the exit. Adir clears the fallen beam with easy grace, avoiding the scattered embers and debris underfoot, because he's athletic. Which is a good example as to why you should eat a healthy diet, everybody. Smoke clouds Adir's vision. It makes it difficult to breathe, but Adir staggers onward. High constitution, too. I've made a good choice here. At last, Adir comes to the door, rushing out of the blaze and into the mountain fire, into the mountain air. Alright, we got
Katie,
the woman out.
Thank the gods you saved her.
Couldn't get the guard, though. I was sure that thing was coming down, taking your friend with it. The man wipes his brow and stares up at the collapsing house. At least you got Katie out when you did. As for poor Lurgolder, his eyes widen as the section of roof collapses. He looks away, shaking his head. You look like you could use a drink. Take this over to Hayfrix and have one on me. He flips you a couple flat carved bones. Yeah, poor guard. But he's a guard. He died doing his job, so... We'll get the rest of these flames put out. Go on and have yourself a drink. Katie must be unconscious. Alright, well, first, we need to lose some corpses here. These are all guys that I did not kill, I think. Or wait, maybe it is people I killed. I think it is people I killed. Wolf hide, ogre blood. Take that, and what's this? A ring of changing heart grants dominate 2 times per rest plus 3 resolve. What does resolve do again? Because I can never keep these things straight. Reflects a character's internal drive, determination, fearlessness, and emotional intensity. Can project others. Can be useful for mental intimidation, leadership, and convincing performances. In combat, helps characters maintain concentration. Okay, so that's something I should probably be giving to Aloth or Durance. Or Grieving Mother, someone like that. Oh, you're definitely keeping that ring. No, we won't. We'll do that. I'll hold on to that for Grieving Mother. If I can remember. Excuse me. I've changed my mind again. Alright. Got a wolf hide. Some ogre blood. Pretty sure I looted everybody else along the way. Alright, so this is Stalwart. A big town. There's the inn. So we might as well start from the bottom, work our way up. Oh, I see. They're running towards the water here with their buckets. That's neat.
Fresh fish! Freshly caught!
I've heard tell this man has fresh fish that's freshly caught. Hey, maybe you should grab a bucket. Where are you at? Are you not here because I haven't been to the inn? Where are you at?
Fresh fish! Fresh effigy's eyes! Ah!
This is a normal town with normal people in it. A dozen pairs of globular eyes stare up piteously from the discarded heads of the day's catch, washing a pungent sea of fins and innards. Sift through the fish scraps. Your hand runs up against something round and fleshy, the size of a melon. It is smooth and scaleless, and parts seem to be covered in hair. A discarded head, perhaps, but not that of a fish. Poke the head? The head shifts deeper into the barrel's slimy recesses. Pull out the head. With one hand on either side of the head, you begin to lift it out of the barrel, only to have it leap from your grasp as the head's owner springs over the lip of the barrel in an eruption of fish chunks that rain down over the market stall. Yeah, totally normal town. Totally normal town. The man who leapt from the barrel stands facing you, nearly naked save for a loincloth and drizzled in fish viscera. He is covered head to toe in scars, tears and punctures and the thorny imprints of lashings. Most are faded like old memories. Despite that, the condition of the man's body is remarkable. The drooping skin in his flanks and elbows the only evidence of his advanced age. His face is placid, but the rest of him appears prepared for anything.
You must forgive, Zawa. I was not expecting you.
Well, no, you were minding your own business in a barrel full of fish guts. How would you be expecting anybody? He looks you in the eye at first, but his gaze drifts down and then, settling on strange parts of your face as though distracted by new discoveries. If he is all flustered, he gives no indication. The important question to ask, let's just get down to it. What were you doing in that barrel? Zahua scratches behind his ear, dismayed.
Resting my eyes, I thought. Waiting for the Malkachoa to bring me insight.
He shakes his head, and so do I.
It would seem I dozed. A good thing my master was not alive to see it.
Zahua blinks, leaning in to get a better look at you. His enlarged pupils seem to crowd out his pale irises.
Are you real?
I might be dreaming. I just saw a grown man leap out of a barrel of fish guts, but, yeah.
Of course. I meant no offense. But I find it is best to ask when Malkachoa is involved.
Malkachoa?
A small white mushroom. I have heard it called snowcap in these lands.
Ah, it's a drug user.
It can reveal the true nature of many things.
You have a master, you said. The man traces your inadvertent gaze at his scars. He smiles politely.
A teacher, not an owner. Zawa is a free man. Well, as free as any of us.
Let's get to the other important question. I still don't understand why you're in that barrel.
I was freeing myself from vanity.
Well, a good job of that you did. Did he say sanity or vanity? And that is why I love a deer.
Consider, how can one be vain who is bathed in the smell of dead fish?
There is a proud glint in his eyes. Hard to argue with that.
I had the idea when I passed this way earlier. I am pleased with the results so far.
He smiles at a woman whose head is swiveled towards him as she passes by, a look of revulsion on her face. Distracted, her toe catches on a stone and she nearly falls on her face. He claps his hands together.
Yes, quite pleased.
Those scars are from battle? Sahua glances down at his body.
From battle, yes. I left them upon my enemies.
He points to various patches of crisscrossing scars.
These were struck against fear. These against pleasure. These against hatred. Those down there against greed and doubt. And these...
He points to his face.
These were for vanity.
You made those scars?
I cannot take credit for all of them, but I did most of the good ones.
His mouth perks.
I put them there in battle to remind myself what is real and what is not.
This guy's a raving lunatic.
Our worst enemies are inventions of the mind, pleasure, fear. When we see them for what they are, we become unstoppable.
And you have achieved this?
I feel I have been close, but never for more than an instant. In the moment when the pain is sharpest, the world becomes clear. In that moment, I am a match for anyone.
He gives a slow, assured nod. Your wounds must have caused you to suffer greatly.
Of course, I am fortunate to have suffered so much. If I did not suffer, I would not aspire to free myself from it.
Would you really have to free yourself from it if you hadn't, suffered in the first place?
I would wander from one unfulfilling goal to the next. More wealth, a better station. My soul would wither. But to search for a place beyond suffering's reach is to nurture the soul, to harden it against the elements.
He clenches his fists in illustration.
Suffering is the greatest gift the gods have given us. Their most beautiful, perfect creation. It is the hand that turns the wheel.
His eyes gleam as though looking upon an old and beloved friend. Getting back to the original point, do you often smear yourself with fish?
Gods, no. What a way to travel the world. The usual way is to smear yourself with the ashes of the dead. But they do not burn their dead here, so I have to make do with what the land provides.
He sniffs the air, because why not?
The cold seems to conquer the smell. Even now, the scent hides itself. Disappointing.
You don't seem like you're from around here.
I was visiting a monastery not far from here. I found it empty, but I met a messenger as I left. He carried a call for aid. Seeing that he would find no monks at the monastery, I chose to go in their place. Zawa is no longer young, but in combat he is still the greatest of the Takan people. It seemed only right that he should go.
Stoward hired me as well.
I would not say I am hired. I seek no wage, and I promise no result.
If you're lucky, it'll give you a bath.
I have chosen a path, and my spoils come from walking it.
An uneasy frown settles on his face, almost a wince.
And this fortress, this Durgan's battery, its people are gone. Zawa would know why.
If you seek the White Forge as well, I could use the help of an experienced warrior. Sahua's face tilts upward, his eyes fixing on the sky. He remains motionless, entranced. At length, he blinks as if awakening and looks back at you. He shrugs cheerily.
If one wishes to swim, it is no time to argue with the current. We are here together, in this moment, because a perfect force has willed it. Who is Zawa to argue?
He looks you squarely in the eyes, and for once they do not drift.
I will walk with you so long as the gods wish it so.
Let us be on our way. So I've made a new party member with this man that likes to bathe in fish guts. I'm gonna take Pelagina out for a second,
Corres.
just so I can get into the talking phase here with Zawa, because I know that's gonna be a thing.
Too predictable! I have trained my whole life to maintain perfect peace of body and mind in all circumstances. But that is annoying.
He is a 9th level monk from the Ixmitil Plains. He's a philosopher. I know nothing about how monks work. He has +10 fortitude, transcendent suffering, 3 +8 unarmed accuracy, +7.3 unarmed damage. Bunch of abilities, okay. You got anything in your inventory here? No, you don't. You have a second weapon set with a fine hatchet and a saber. Yeah, let's chat with him.
What do you need of Zawa?
I want to know more about your beliefs.
The ways of the Nalpazka can make little sense to an outsider.
Who are the Nalpazka?
We are the warriors of the Takan. Nobles, peasants, it does not matter. We are souls caged in flesh, nothing more.
He knocks on his sternum.
But it is one thing to say it, another to know it. So we train until we know it, or until we meet our ends.
Zawa regards you for a moment.
I give this answer because it is what you wanted, but the Nalpazka would say different. They would say that we are nothing at all.
What do Nalpazka seek? Zawa studies the horizon. He smiles as if at a pleasant thought, and does not look at you as he speaks.
Perfection.
He lets the word hang in the air a moment, as though it were an invocation.
Look around you. The world is perfect. Every being, every moment, every death.
He frowns and shakes his head.
Rarely do we see this. We stumble through life, lost in distractions. Every practice of the Nalpazka is a reminder to stop stumbling, to know the perfection.
How can you say the world is perfect?
You think the world imperfect? Most would agree. Most would say the world is imperfect because we suffer.
Well, I live in the year 2020, so yes, the world is very imperfect.
They imagine a world without suffering and dream of living there, and suffer all the more for it.
Beneath Zawa's calm expression, a deep fervor begins to glow like fanned embers.
This is their mistake. The world is perfect. It was created by a boundless wisdom. It is for us to learn why a perfect world requires that we suffer.
When we met, you said you were freeing yourself from vanity.
Vanity is a snare that roots us to the ground. The way we see ourselves, the way others see us, these things are not real. They cannot be touched. The Nalpazka teachings reveal many such snares. Fear, pleasure, doubt, hatred. They hold us back if we let ourselves be caught.
And what happens if you can avoid being caught?
Then you see only what is truly there, and you suffer no longer. You become as a god, seeing things as they do.
Zawa speaks as one recalling a fantastic dream.
If you can loose yourself from the snares, then you are free.
Tell me about your scars.
I meet people on the road, and they pity me. I have come to find it endearing. They see so many scars, and they wonder, how can the man beneath not be broken?
He runs his fingers over the puckered remains of a gash on his left forearm.
A scar is a wound that heals, a living reminder of our power over suffering. They cause no pain, only the echo of pain, which cannot hurt you. Show me a scarred man, and I will show you a man who can overcome.
That actually kind of makes sense. Why had you eaten Snowcap when we met?
The Malkachoa? At any time, it is rare that I have not eaten some.
Explains a lot.
When you first try it, it seems a beautiful fantasy. You see colors you have never seen, meet creatures that are not there. With practice, you see that all it does is show you reality, the essence of all things, how they are alike and connected. I have watched trees grow and wilt before me. I have tasted meat and known the animal's life as if it were mine.
He leans in conspiratorially.
But the Malkachoa often causes the stomach to empty with great violence, so it is not for everyone.
Tell me again why it is you think we should suffer.
If I did not suffer, I would not aspire to free myself from it. I would wander from one unfulfilling goal to the next, but to
told us this
search for a
already.
place beyond suffering, I would gladly cast light upon them.
I want to ask you something else.
You would ask much of one who knows little.
Where'd you learn how to fight?
Most Akan have two choices. They can grow crops, or they can become Nalpazka warriors. I was the youngest of 5, a dreamer. The Nalpazka were always in my thoughts. They did not feel the same about me. 3 times I tried to join their ranks. 3 times I was refused.
Why were you refused? I mean, besides the fact you probably were jumping into piles of things that don't smell very nice.
All that time spent dreaming, and I had not thought to prepare. I was lazy, uncoordinated, overweight. If they had not refused me, what shame I might have brought to them.
But they accepted you eventually?
They had no choice. Our high priestess had a vision.
Let me guess, Malkachoa.
Malkachoa, plus some other shit, knowing her.
Eh?
No one put on a better ceremony than she did.
What did she see?
She saw me as chieftain, leading a host of Nalpazka warriors to victory over our enemies, the Kechmatl.
Last word twists his mouth as though he'd eaten something spoiled.
Our last chieftain had died over the winter. A new one had not yet arisen from the Nalpazka. So the timing was right. The next day they brought me before Ishipilo, the great master of the Nalpazka, and I became his pupil.
And this Ixapilo taught you everything you know now.
I still trained with the other instructors, sparred and meditated with my Nalpazka brothers and sisters. I learned from all of them. But learning from Ishipilo was a chieftain's privilege. He knew the secrets that could grant mastery over reality, invincibility in combat. When a Nalpazka was deemed a worthy successor to a chieftain, greater than all his peers, Ishipilo would take him in, prepare him for the future. I would not be as I am now without his lessons.
You said your teacher knew how to master reality. Did you learn his secrets? Sahwa opens his mouth to speak, but only a slow exultation escapes. He looks at you, frowning, and tries again.
Not all of them.
What was it your master never taught you?
A story for another time, perhaps. One thing he did teach me was that the more you talk, the less you hear. And the less you hear, the less you have that is worth saying.
Tell me about your home.
Ishimidal is vast. Outsiders think of it as one land and its people as one people. But if you walk across it, you see that there are many Ishimidals.
Ishimidal, I've been pronouncing that wrong all this time.
The Ishimidal that the Khan know is rich in soil and water. The crops seem to grow in front of you. We build our homes along the Akia River, and it is good to us. Though every so often it floods, so that the Khan do not forget their suffering. It would not be the rainy season without my neighbor Esley swimming after his escaped goats and nearly drowning.
The mirth on Zawa's face buries itself suddenly, as though evading capture.
But home is an idea, no more real than justice or honor. My home is here now, wherever I stand.
What were you doing before you came here?
I hope to share knowledge with the monks of the Thousand Dreams. Their monastery lies east of here. They are said to be seekers of greater truth, like the Nalpazga. But if they still exist, I did not find them there.
Let's keep moving. Alright, so that's Zawa.
Zawa is ready.
I am not very familiar with Zawa. I did not actually use him at all in my last playthrough. And they're still trying to put that fire out. Stalwart Fishery. Some tin hat. Tin hats can be difficult to spot in a snowy landscape at a white march, featuring an off-white coloration tinged by golden-brown edges. The small mushrooms are often hidden along the bottom of fallen birches. Okay. It's another ingredient. Let's check out the fishery, I suppose. Let's actually save it after all the dialogue.
You must gather your party.
I must gather my party before we... Hi, I hear this is
Why are
where
they
the fish
drying them
at.
out? These are ready to eat.
Back to work, everyone. No time for dallying.
Just a few minutes more and that fishery would have burned too. Half my shift was on the militia. We lost a lot of people. Grind tallied the dead. Gonna have us work extra shifts to make quota. Sounds like Walmart. Another attack like that and we won't have enough hands to feed the village.
A fine thing you reached us when you did. They would have burned the fishery next, mark my words.
He wraps your hand in a sturdy handshake.
And the last thing this lot needs is another excuse to knock off early.
He raises his voice at this last remark and glowers around the room. The other fisherfolk look studiously away and focus on mending nets, gutting fish, and sorting the day's catch. Can't imagine why he'd be in any hurry. He looks as if he's trying not to breathe. Maybe for a soak in the hot springs, or a walk along that lake. She takes a deep breath. Nice place.
Anyway, excuse the mess. If there's something you need, the clerk can get you sorted.
He raises a graying eyebrow at a man sorting various stocks of supplies near the back of the room.
Just watch your step if you have a mind to look around. The floors are slick and none too pleasant to fall on.
I've got questions about the fishery.
Been running it 4 decades now. Reckon I can tell you what you want to know.
Seems like a big operation.
It may stink of fish guts, but there's no place more critical to Stalwart's survival.
He nods, a blush of pride rising above his beard.
Herds come and go, so there's seasons when our catch sustains the village.
He glances around the fishery, bustling with activity and warm with the heat of the cook fire.
But try telling these folk as much. We go home each day covered to the elbows in fish oil and entrails, reeking of our work.
His eyes soften with the gaze of a stern but loving father. Alof forces a smile. Charming.
Stalwart's shrinking, but it would disappear if we lost the fishers. I drive him hard, but I can't afford to do otherwise.
What do you do here?
Just about everything. I track the day's catches and see that our nets and hooks are in working order.
He crosses his arms over his broad chest, throwing his shoulders back.
My family's been in charge of the fishery since the early days of Stalwart. I know the best spots to find frost diver and iron-toothed pike, and I make sure we don't overfish the speckleback.
That's all I wanted to know.
Need anything else?
Farewell, Mr. Fishery person. What? Sorry, my ears are still ringing. Dead eyes of a speckleback, iron-toothed pike, and frost diver fish gaze up at you. These roasting fish provide much of the pungent odor permeating the fishery. Wasn't expecting anyone to come by the fishery for a while. Guess that's the proper way to go about it, really. Carry on like it's business as usual. Can I get you anything? Let me see what you have. Of course. Let's see, he's got fish. I like how he's randomly got magical equipment. Plus 10 ability area of effect. It's cheap too. I'm gonna buy that. That's another thing I could see maybe putting on Grieving Mother and actually making her fairly decent, because all of her Cypher stuff should have a bigger area of effect then, I would imagine. Ivory Worm figurine. Summon 2 worms. I could do without that. Let's get some camping supplies. Can I sell you stuff? Because I probably have a lot to sell. That way this doesn't get out of hand. Figure for now I'm just gonna hold on to my magical stuff. Not much point in selling it unless I actually have to. Oh shoot, did I just get rid of a grimoire? I think I might have. Yeah, take that back. Zart Quarterstaff, find 1. Find stilettos, find medium shield, find great sword, find warbow, find mace. Man, I killed a lot of Skane cultists. And every one of them deserved it. Alright, good enough. I have a ton of money right now. So I'm going to be very okay with spending some of it if I need to. If we come across anything neat. Alright, so nothing in the fishery of note. We've been down there.
Finally, some proper weather. What do you say to a dip in those springs?
Ista. Oh, what's this? I'll find it without your help, not giving up, you hear me? Dwarf paces with his head down and arms crossed, only stopping to hurl glances at the building behind him. His face is smeared dark with grime, his suit falls from his beard as he mumbles to himself. Work my hands on the bloody stumps in this place, and for what? He kicks at a mound of dirty snow. Start with nothing, leave with less. He extends his arm out. Who are you yelling at? At idiots, that's who. I'm as much to blame for believing them. The dwarf wrinkles his nose, nostrils flaring like a horse. Well, good riddance. Should have never settled here in the first place. Some things you mean to leave behind. Come to find out, you packed them away anyway. Oh, I'm not leaving until I recover what's mine. You can't deny me again, not after this. Akron gestures at the burnt-out buildings. Those sweet-tongued priests took my heirlooms, bury the memory of my past, they said. Now I don't even have that. What priests? Only ones here. They occupied the temple some time ago, picking at desperate folk like vultures. Those priests, Andra's dogs, said the goddess would forgive if some things are best left to be forgotten. He nods towards a nearby temple. Their leader, Lafta, I believed her words. Another one of them, a gift bearer, took my medallion. He closed his stocky hand into a fist. And now they won't tell me where it is. Oh boy. Your problem is that you give meaning to meaningless objects. Here, let me show you something. I need one of your rings. Akron draws back his hand, but Zoa gives him a trustworthy nod. After a moment's hesitation, Akron relents, dropping a jeweled band into Zawa's outstretched palm. Immediately, Zawa flings it into the lake. See? You are no worse off. Oh, Zawa. You're gonna tick people off, aren't you? Akron's face, already splashed with pink from the cold, turns a deep shade of crimson, and his mouth puckers as though his head were set to implode. After a tense moment, his breathing slows and his fists unclench, his original look of pain and frustration returning. I feel like I should apologize for that, but I won't. Why won't they tell you? Because they think they know better, that's why. Said it was the only way I'd forget. What did you want to forget about your past? That was a different life, better days, until Akron closes his eyes and shakes his head. Motes of soot fall into his hunched shoulders. It's my burden to bear, not yours. I thought to cast it away, but the memories I lost were all the wrong ones. What else did you give the priest? The dwarf casts a measuring look at you. He quickly turns his head away and nods. You'd understand its value. My armor, a set finer than I've ever seen, but worthless to an old dwarf. I'd have traded it for the medallion, but fool that I was, I gave them both. Maybe there's something I can do? Not the kind of talk that I've grown used to these last few years, I admit. The priests may pretend otherwise, but folks here tend to look only after themselves. I'd be surprised if they returned it willingly. They believe it's a sacred duty to cast the offerings to the goddess in some place where they'll be forgotten. Better to find where they drop them, I think. What's Lafta's role in all this? She leads that group of crows. They took over the temple as folks started to leave. Came to unburden those who sought to forget their misery here, they say. Excuse me. Tell me about this medallion you want to recover. Belonged to my sister. It was just a pretty trinket to her. To me, the dwarf cast his gaze down. She was the last of my family. At least that still acted like family to me. Tell me more about your past. Okay, do I need to accept the quest here, or did I do that already? Goodbye. I don't expect luck to grace me now, but if you find anything, I'll be here. Count on it. It gives you a vigorous nod. Get a drink here. Throat's being dumb. Check my text real quick. Alright. Let's see who Ista is.
Oh, it's working! Yes! I can't believe it! It's really... Oh.
The dwarven woman looks at you, a disappointed expression on her face. In her hands is a large rectangular box covered in strange dials and symbols. I get that reaction a lot.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so rude. I'm Ista. I heard we have you to thank for clearing out the ogres. I'm glad Stalwart survived. It would have been a disappointing trip up here otherwise.
What's that device you're holding? Is it worth money?
My ore-locating divination tool. Well, that's what it will be. I have to calibrate it. Right now it seems to think you're a copper deposit. My Animancer contacts did suggest that a particular strong soul essence might interfere. I'm more interested in minerals in any case.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to recreate the instruments that first led the Pargrin dwarves to this mountain. This is my latest prototype. Centuries ago, dwarves carrying tools just like this one followed their readings to what is now the battery. If I can recreate their work, then I may be able to find ore deposits elsewhere.
No way.